Water rights are just 2 weeks away from opening for farmers across southern Idaho. But the snowpack this year will play a central role in how much water is available throughout the growing season. Home 10 reporter Jordan Scheifler spoke with the Idaho Department of Water Resources on how this year is shaping up for farmers in this week's Salute to Idaho Agriculture.
Salute to Idaho Agriculture, sponsored by Slyman & Butler Irrigation.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough year this year.
The snowpack is a vital part of the irrigation system in the Gem State for farmers. And Idaho Department of Water Resources hydrologist David Hoekema says it ends up being where most water for Idaho is held.
Our biggest reservoir is the snowpack. And so when the snowpack begins to melt, typically around April 1st when the water rights turn on, that's when we begin to meet the senior water right demand on the river.
But this year, it has fallen short with basins like Boise, Payette, and Owyhee receiving record low snowpack, despite the high amount of precipitation received this year. Instead, it's being described as a wet snow drought due to temperatures.
This is the warmest year since 1934. Because of that intense heat, we're missing pretty much all of the low elevation snowpack below 6,000 feet.
Once water rights open on April 1st, Hoekema says he expects high demand. With no initial surge of snowmelt expected in the season, farmers will have to rely on the reservoirs.
The priority on the river is going to remain really low, so people are going to have to dip into storage water early in the season. If you've got junior water rights, you're probably going to be mostly dependent on your storage. And so it's going to be very difficult to have a full irrigation season.
This will eventually directly impact what farmers can grow. With potatoes and sugar beets being water intensive, growers may have to pivot.
People are going to need to really focus on their cash crops, and we're probably going to see a lot of fallowed land across Idaho.
Hoekema says commodity prices may rise, helping offset the loss of product this year. With drought conditions persistent across the state, farmers may run out of water early.
Last year was a drought year on the salmon track. They're going to run out of water a lot earlier this year. In the past, they've run out as early as July.
When the water shuts off, farmers growing late-season crops like sugar beets could lose their crop entirely. Relief this year will have to come through good rains in early spring, but forecasters are expecting warm and dry conditions through June.
When you look at the Boise, when you look at the Big Wood, you look at the Salmon Tract, those are all facing some of their most serious droughts on record.
Hoekema expects this year to be similar to 2022 in terms of water supply, with conditions potentially worse in some areas. In Twin Falls, Jordan Scheifler, KMVT News.